And we're gonna do the fun part. You guys ready for the fun part? I am so ready for the fun part. Okay, we're gonna get a little flour. I'm gonna show you a couple techniques to think about to make your pizza better quality when you work with your dough. So I am going to present to you a way of doing this. I'm thinking about it. That's good for an amateur and is going to help you avoid the toughest parts. So we're going to take our dough. We're going to put it on the flour. I like to take it then and immediately pick it up, move the flour around again, and set it down again. That's how I like to do it. And so now I feel like I'm going to be able to work it a little better. Here it is. So we have this dough here and we're going to knead it. People do different things. Listen to me. Number one, do not put your hand in and press it down at first. If you are a trained pro pizza maker and you know how you're doing this dough, you may do that and do a bunch of other things that us regular amateurs can't do because we're just amateurs, okay? But what we're gonna do, and here's the technique to make it a little foolproof, okay? Is you need to make a little bit of a ridge. And actually here, I'm gonna display this a little bit in front of you guys on camera, okay? So you see my hands, okay? What we're gonna do is, we're gonna have the sides of the dough, and we're gonna make a little ridge in, and then the dough is gonna come back up. Okay, so let's reverse that hand image. Okay, so watch. Okay, we're gonna make a little bit, okay, of our outside here. Okay, and now look. Okay, there's a big area here that's high. Okay, and see, so now I'm going to press down a little bit more, maybe work a little bit more, but I still have a bunch in the middle. This is the weak point. As we work the dough being non-professionals, that's what's going to rip apart. That's what is going to be thin when we cook the pie if we're not careful. But if we start by cushioning it and leaving a whole bunch there in the middle as we now work the dough, we're going to save ourselves from what is normally the problem area, the center, okay? And then I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to put it on the tops of my hands, okay? So I'm going to take this now and I'm going to work this a little bit. I'm going to slightly, gently pull it apart, okay? All right, but because I have extra in the middle, I'm going to be safer. So now, you can do whatever you want, okay? You want to toss it, you can toss it. You want, one of the other ways to do is to do, so what I'm doing here is, it's on my hand, okay? On the top, see the tops? Sometimes you want to work it with the tops of your hands. I find that that helps me move the dough little by little without pulling it apart and puncturing it. If I had touched it with the tips of my fingers, I'd be puncturing. But if I'm working with the top of my hand, it's easier. And then, you know, you want to do a little bit of that, you can. So, and now as it pulls apart, because we worked with a reinforced center that we did not depress, our weakest point of the pie will be way stronger than it would have otherwise. And you're going to be so happy later. Otherwise, now, you can get to a spot here where you can already tell where you're like, okay, this is pretty thinned out. And then you may need to go back to the outsides again and work the outsides a little more. That's okay. You can do that. See what I'm doing? Working the outsides a little more again. Okay. Notice I'm pressing here. I'm not pressing here. Pressing and working the outsides, okay? So now maybe I'll bring it back to the tops of my hands again, okay? Remember, we're gonna do 2 pizzas, so later I'll show this to you guys again, this technique that makes it really easy. And we're gonna move it, we're gonna stretch it. And so our goal is to get to a size that we're pretty close to. That's gonna be about the size of our steel, because our steel is about the size of our stone. Look at that. So are we there? I think we're there. All right, so maybe I'll do this way. Here, we'll put it over here for a second, and I'll bring it back over to show you guys. This steel is probably gonna leave some metal marks on my counter, but it's no big deal. Later, I can clean that off. So you may see some gray marks after this. It's okay. But here we are, okay? If you like bubbles, leave your bubbles. If you don't want that big bubble there, you can pop it. It's up to you. I always thought the bubbles were fun when I was a kid. So, you know, I'm gonna leave the bubbles. Alrighty. Hey, I'm Matt, streaming to you, as always, from Brooklyn.